Turnovers have been the biggest contributor to where we are in this season. We have tried to address it, and we've worked in several ways to fix the problems. I thought early in the game it was back and forth. We really had a good chance to go up and be dominant in the game when it was 7-3. And the way that you work on turnovers, a lot of people think it comes down to just taking care of the football and not having tip balls and all the things that have kind of plagued us this year. But we had some mental errors in that game that directly impacted those turnovers. So those are the things that we have to definitely going to have to clean up if we move forward with everything that we're trying to get done. I think that also when you have turnovers, the score impacts more than what people think. Defensively, it impacts you when you look up at the scoreboard and 14 points have been scored and you had really nothing to do with it, but you feel the impact of looking up at, man, we gave up 28 points or we gave up 34 points. So that impact also had a huge effect on us in that third quarter. I think as we move forward, we have to continue to understand that there are certain players that we have on this team that are playing exceptional football. And I don't want their success to get marred and lost in some of the problems that we've had until this point. It's unpleasant to be where we are, very uncomfortable, but I do know that we are laying the foundation and there are no shortcuts to excellence. I feel that, laying the foundation can sometimes be the hardest, most times the most uncomfortable part. Speaking of offense and defense. Now, special teams, I think that our special team, Shannon Moore has done a good job of growing it from where we were and knowing the people that we have. We've had some great contributors. Had another great game this week from the same guys, special teams-wise. Thought Joe Carter helped us again. We also seen Devin Carlos jump in and really, really help us from a special team standpoint. The things that we have to do to make sure that we're better moving forward is we're going to have to make sure that all the details that we talk about doing, that we actually do. You can't just say you must do. Schematically, I feel that we need to help some of our players a little bit better, and we'll continue to do that. Our players, coaches, the whole program combined, it's the details. And those details don't only show up on Saturday, show up on Friday, like I've said before, and throughout the week. And right now, we're struggling with the detail of taking care of the football. And that's not just carrying it. That's everything that comes from protection. It comes from route running. It comes from where the ball should go. All those things combined, we're falling below the mark there. Moving on to Navy, a really well-coached team. I think Coach Ken and his staff has done a good job of putting together a great defense and putting together one of the best offenses that I've seen in this capacity. They've been in some tough games. A lot of people have actually been in the right place. If you've watched games this year, a lot of people have been in right places with these guys throughout the year, going all the way back to Air Force and Tulane. But the difference makers for this Navy team is the toughness that they have at quarterback and the toughness that they have at their backs have really, really helped them. They can come out of a game throwing it 5 or 6 times. They can also come out of a game throwing it a lot, depending on where they are in the game. But I think their toughness at the running back position and the quarterback position really makes them a tough team to play with and a tough team to go out and tackle. I think a lot of teams have done a good job with them defensively. However, because the purest form of what they do, the option football, purest form, they're doing it. Everybody else has tried to add to it and take away from it. I think their biggest strength is they know what they're doing, they know the adjustments, and they do it well.
Navy's right in the thick of the conference title race. Does that maybe give you guys extra motivation to maybe spoil someone's season?
Yeah, we're going to try to pull motivation from everywhere we can get it from. Our guys are some resilient guys, like I've said before. But it comes down to me one thing. This is going to be a possession game. And I'll say it over and over in everywhere that I've been. We can slow the game down. We can speed the game up. But it comes down to possessions. You can't afford to give Navy a possession from a turnover standpoint. And when you can take the ball from Navy one time, potentially 2 times, it greatly increases your chance to win the game. And that's what this week is about. The motivation of going to beat Navy is great, but the motivation to go out and try to execute a game plan and take care of the football and take the football away, which is something that we've struggled with to the highest degree this year, is what we have to be motivated by this week.
You said you didn't want the success of others to be marred, some of your individual players. Zay said, he's close to breaking a record, that it's been conflicting not having a successful season. How conflicting is it for you as a coach to see someone do what he's doing and not have a successful season as a goal?
Well, when you sit in my chair and when you sit from where I sit, you get to see the big picture a lot more than anyone else. I'm in the know, whereas a lot of other people are guessing about what's happening here, what's happening there. I know what's going on. I know who's working hard. I know the issues at this position or the issues at that position. I understand the big picture of where we're going. So I see it all. So as I see it all, I also have to recognize greatness. You guys have heard me say that. So, you know, some of you guys have heard or seen the movie The Matrix. You see all these different things going on and you see glitches. And I have to see it all. And I'm very, you know, I'm very happy about how he's played and how he's performed, and others, how they've played and how they perform and how they've started at one place and they're growing to get better. So I see it all. So it's conflicting to start with because, you know, this is not where we want it to be. There's no question about it. There's a lot of things that we wanted to do better. The number one thing, of course, I've said it a million times already, is, you know, how we take care of the ball and how we haven't taken care of the ball, I should say. But in the middle of all that, I do see the shining light that Zay has been. And I know it's tough for him. It's especially tough when you're a senior. Probably would be a lot different for him if he was a junior and he was having some of this type of success. But I see what he's doing and I respect it.
Coach, a lot of teams, when they prepare or look at Navy when they're on the schedule at the beginning of the year, they have to sprinkle in a little bit of them, even in the preseason, because it's something you don't see week to week. How have you prepared for Navy's offense?
So before we even got to, you know, like you said in the preseason, you know, the biggest deal with Navy is the cut blocks. And you got to put and spend time on cut blocking. Whereas we never see cut blocking, you know, from our offense. First 2-3 weeks of camp, you know, almost every day or every other day, we started with cut blocking drills and just taking on cut blocks, whether it be in the interior or the exterior. And then you know that the open date was also very beneficial to us, where we were able to go get 2 full days of what they do. And it helps our show team more than it helps our defense, just to get them acclimated to how we want it ran. So those things, and then our off-season work that we've done with our players and our coaches, and just, you know, just the research that goes with it. All of that combined, we have spent a lot more time. It's like almost, you know, not quite like an opening game, but we have spent more time on Navy than we would have spent on any other opponent.
Along those lines, how big is resilience in this game, especially mentally, in terms of if they get out to a fast start, staying in the game, especially because it is such an adjustment playing against them?
It's a big deal. But that's driven by the coaches, and the coaches have to do a good job of making sure that happens. That's why we're coaches, not just myself, but the assistant coaches have to do a good job of maintaining the room. The coordinators got to do a good job of maintaining the building and making sure that when their side of the ball is on the field, they're doing exactly what's asked to be done. You know, I thought there was some great execution in our games at times, especially on offense and a couple of times, more than a few times on defense. But collectively, it just wasn't there. Collectively on defense, it wasn't there. And then collectively on offense, it was give the ball to the other team. So it is up to coaching to make sure that, you know, we take care of the football, and then collectively we're resilient enough to, if they do score a touchdown, we score a touchdown. I mean, that's what type of game we were just in, where there was a touchdown, you know, then a field goal, then a touchdown, then a chance to score, and the inability to do that because of what I talked about earlier.
Coach, Gardner mentioned you got slung to the ground pretty hard at one point during the game. You had to pull him out and put Phillip back in. Talk about your quarterback situation coming into this week and what you plan on doing.
I'll know a little bit more about our quarterback situation tomorrow. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I will say that Gardner was fine. He practiced yesterday. Phillip did not practice yesterday. He's still having a little bit of a tenderness in one of his shoulders. So, you know, but we feel like both of them should be ready to practice, but we don't know completely where the quarterback situation will be until we get to actually see a little bit more of a body of work.
If they're both healthy, what do you think is going to make the difference in the side injuries?
Practice week will make the difference. You know, practice week, sharpness. We feel good about Phillip. We feel good about Gardner, but you're going to have to be sharp. I felt like in that game we missed some critical throws. Once again, we missed, you know, some plays to Zay that we had schemed up that were very, very hurtful. And then we missed them, you know, both of them. It wasn't just Phillip. You know, Gardner, when I decided to go for it right there on the 32-yard line or so, where you're in a situation where they either get the ball there or you don't want to try the 50-yard field goal. And we had a 4th and 8, I believe. And Zay ran a great route, and we throw it outside of him, and it tips up, and they get a pick, and they go down and score. I mean, those are critical misses. So we have to evaluate, you know, both of them. and there was some pressure on the one throw, but that should have been a stand-up first down. I mean, that's execution that you should see every day, no matter what.
Coach, on the turnovers, when the season ends, what do you do from day one, as soon as the Temple game's over, to work on that going forward? That's an integral part, because that's what's killed you all year, you said, so going forward.
Research starts with it. The first thing you do is you find programs that have had to go through it. You can guess and try to fix this and try to fix that. But what I'm doing is trying to find the programs that have had it, have reversed it, and what they did. So I'll be on the phone. I'll be doing as much research as I can. And then, where the turnovers are coming from is going to be critical. Who they're coming from. Do we know how they're coming? Is a certain part in the field where we're stacking routes and balls are getting tipped, which that's not what's happening. Our turnovers on, as far as interceptions are concerned, the majority of them have happened outside the hash, which is very unusual. When you have turnovers interceptions that are happening outside the hash, like like the two at South Carolina or the two this week, those are unusual interceptions. You usually don't see. What you see is guys getting balls tipped in the middle of the field and then other balls, coming out high or slightly behind people and getting picked. So we got a lot of research to do.
Coach, with this being the last game for seniors, have you thought about what you'll say to your senior class before you go out Saturday?
Thank you. Like I said, I'm in the know. I know what they've been through. I know the people that they were here with. I know some of the friendships that they had to relinquish. I know the issues. I know how hard they work. I know what they're trying to do away from the field. I know that for the most part, all of them are going to graduate, and they're working really hard to get that done immediately. They've answered the bell on what I've asked them to do. I didn't really want them to have a senior year where we didn't play as well as we did, and then they don't get the benefit of being an ECU graduate or a great person. So they've done everything that we've asked them to do. Thank you, and that's why I said, what I said at the end of the game. And people ask me where we're going to move on and start playing younger people. I'm not. We're going to play the guys that have earned it and the right to do it. If we've been playing younger guys from the get-go, that'd be different. But I believe in these guys. I'm always believe in them, despite what anyone says about them, because I know how hard they work and I know what they put into it. It's unfortunate that they got the outcome that they've gotten to this point.
After Saturday, James was talking about, despite the fact that they're out of bowl consideration, that he's still trying to show the younger guys to bring passion and energy to practice, that there's still a lot to play for. Did you see that from practice from James, and have other guys kind of stepped up to try to keep these guys attached to the end of the year?
If you would have been at Sunday's practice, you would have thought that we were already bowl eligible. You just would have thought that. Now, does that come from just wanting to work and wanting to get better? Absolutely. Was it focused? Yes. Did a lot of it had to do with Navy? Yes. And what we've been through as a team against Navy, a lot of it had to do with that. The pride in trying to be able to stop that. But, these, like I said before, they like to play football. They love being Pirates. And it's just very unfortunate that, we are where we are right now.
Coach, you obviously knew you had a great player in Zay when you took the job. What has surprised you the most about watching him work day in and day out, and what makes him such a great player? His
transition to our belief system. His transition to our belief system was seamless, 100%. And it got him better on the field. He's been able to grow away from the field as well. He's just growing. When you have a great player, and you like to have a lot of great players, but when you have a great player and you come in, I was one of them, I like to think, and you come in with a new staff, there's some resentment that no matter what, you can say this or that. We didn't reach that with him. I know I may have had some resentment and wanted to know what was going on. His transition to what we wanted him to do, and we didn't think that he would be in a situation where maybe he'd be having a chance to break this record because of so many catches that he needed. Because of everything that you have to go through during the season to stay healthy. This has probably been his healthiest season. I commend the staff for trying to figure out a way in the practice plan for him, but his transition was what's most important and very impressive to me.
When Hardy broke the catch record 2 years ago, I remember how much it mattered to his teammates to get that for him. They kind of self-identified with it. From what you've seen in that room, how much does it matter to his teammates since it's such a team sport?
Oh yeah, they love him. The building loves him, and it's because when he goes out to work, There is no talking, there is no laughing, there is no joking. He's exactly what a lot of them want to be. And what he's done is he's kind of shaped the room, and not only from just shaping the room, but recruiting. I mean, who could you put in a room recruiting when receivers come in and parents come, come around? They want to see Zay. They want to be around him. So it's no different for the guys that want to be around him all the time. They want him to have that record really, really badly, to a point where, if there's some, routes that are changing in games, or this is leaning this way. We've heard many guys come up and say, I think if we put him in the slot here, we can get, double coverage off of him. So that's just a testament to who they are in that room and the way it's been coached.
Coach, as a former receiver and somebody who's been in the NFL, is Zay an NFL receiver? And if so, what can he do in the NFL?
He can dominate for a long time and play for a long time. He has multiple seasons left. He has to have, of course, an injury-free career, but his skill set is dynamic. He has a large catch radius. There's a reason why we've had so many general managers in this building this spring and this fall, and that's not usual. We've had first-round draft picks at other places that I've been, and we didn't see general managers. So everyone knows what he's capable of. Now he just has to go do it. Thank you.